got some homework to do tonight to watch that one. See, they have Sounds of Silence, but it's by Garfunkel. I don't think that's a Garfunkel song, is it? Yeah, I know that one. I gotta look that up. No, they only have the Garfunkel song. House of the Red. I hate to cut this short. Gotta last 40 seconds. Gotta put it in your ear. Okay.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome on in. It is the Down and the Dirty with Scott Mitchell here on ESPN 792.1 FM. Proud to be a part of the Utah ESPN radio network. Oh, yeah. Anyways, welcome into the show. So glad you could join us. I'm so excited about today. Oh, that music gets me fired up. I'm a lover of music from all eras, most genres. I'll take a little rap, I'll take a little country, but I won't take a lot of it. Some stuff I do like, sometimes some stuff I don't. Anyways, thanks for tuning into the show. I really appreciate your patronage, and we're gonna have fun today. We're gonna have fun. Today is Wednesday, and that means football is back on the docket. I don't know, it's some MAC conference, something, whatever, doesn't matter. It's football. The NBA, of course, is in full swing now. Had some interesting games last night, some interesting, I don't know, challenges, things. We're going to talk about that as well today. Our Mammoth, did they have a big win last night? They beat the Western Conference leading Colorado Avalanche at home. They The Avalanche are 4-0 at home. And by the way, the first time they got to even 4 wins at home, sometime in the middle of November. So the team is off to a pretty hot start. I think we're probably on par with expectations this year, maybe a little ahead of expectations. Wouldn't surprise me. Just wouldn't surprise me if this team just gets hot and just cruises on into the playoffs and makes some noise in the playoffs. Could you imagine having playoff hockey in Salt Lake City, Utah? Oh my goodness, it'd be so exciting. So that's good. Of course, the Jazz, they're going to start. I think, I don't know. How long do you think it will take before the Utah Jazz win 4 games at home this year? That'd be kind of a fun thing to look at. We might look at that in the second segment. And we're gonna have a trivia game. And so we're gonna do a sports trivia game today, which is something I'm gonna try to figure out how to do. I don't know. I'm not gonna incorporate the fans today, but I'm gonna try to figure out a way that we can. We're gonna do sports trivia on the radio, and maybe win a prize or two. So this could be kind of fun. Anyways, so a lot of fun, a lot of crazy stuff going on. In sports, of course, the NFL is always crazy this time of year. Big time things, discussions happening about player movement, trades, who's kind of getting hot right now. And of course, I don't think, and then the NFL is having its fall meetings. In it seems like the NFL has meetings a lot, like their spring meetings, summer meetings, annual meetings, fall meetings, meetings of the mind, and it's fascinating the things that the NFL discusses in these meetings. And one of the hot topics, of course, is this site, like kind of rule changes. And I'm gonna get into that in a minute, but it's just always fascinating. So it's about onside kick. It's about instant reviews, review challenges, all of these things. But the thing that really jumped out at me the most was Russell Wilson and his comments about his coach, where his former coach who Sean Payton, when he was with the Broncos. And this whole Russell Wilson thing is beyond fascinating for me. And it is because here's a guy who's went to a couple Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl. I think he won one, right? Right, Martin? He won one and lost one.
Yeah, he won one with the Saints, Super Bowl 44 over.
No. I'm talking about Russell
Colts.
Wilson.
Yep.
No, I'm talking about Russell Wilson, not Sean Payton.
Russell. Sorry. Yeah, 48, the big win over the Broncos, and then 49, the loss where they decided not to hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch and put the ball in his hands.
Yeah. Right. And a play that they've had success with in the past, and why they didn't run the football is beyond me. Especially how the Patriots lined up. I mean, they were in coverage.
You're on the 1 yard line. What else are you supposed to do on the 1 yard line?
I hear you. Here's the thing. You're on the 1 yard line and you get an interception. It's just hard. Just from a quarterback perspective. That throw there is so hard because you almost don't even have time to react and read that. You just don't. You almost have to just go on blind faith, which I think is what Russell Wilson did, and just say, "I know it's just going to be there." It's just going to be there, and it wasn't. Anyways, but Russell Wilson is fascinating to me because here, if you could go to a coach and you're a quarterback, okay. So he's in Seattle, and clearly they're not liking him there. Now, this is a guy that's taken him to 2 Super Bowls, and you don't like that guy. It might be telling you something about that guy. I remember when Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl in Baltimore, and I had been in Baltimore the year before, and they brought Trent Dilfer in as a backup. He wasn't even considered, the starter. And they started about halfway through the season. And Kadri Ishmael, who was a wide receiver, and I said, so they go win a Super Bowl, and they don't bring Trent Dilfer back. the next year. The guy won a Super Bowl for him, and they don't. And I said, Kadri, what's the deal? I mean, you went, and he goes, he was so bad. Like, he was so bad. Like, he was like in practice and everything. And so, sometimes you win a Super Bowl in spite of, I guess, the guy you have there, which is, to me, is mind baffling. I don't get it. I don't understand, but it happens. So Russell Wilson, who appeared to be kind of an upper echelon guy, like, I mean, he's fallen off a cliff. It's not a slippery slide into the end of his career. It's just a straight nosedive. Because if you go from Seattle to Denver to Sean Payton, okay, now for me, if I'm a quarterback, there are two guys I want to play for. I want to play for Andy Reid, and I want to play for Sean Payton. I mean, tell me who is better. Tell me who you would rather play for. And I know, like, Matthew Stafford's done very well with Sean McVay, but Sean McVay didn't like Jared Goff. And Jared Goff has just flourished in Detroit. So, I don't know. I mean, I'd want to go to Tampa. Whatever's going on in Tampa Bay, maybe I go there. But, man, maybe Nick Sirianni, maybe. But definitely, it's a no-brainer. It's like Andy Reid, Sean Payton, absolutely. So how do you go to Denver? And how do you get the ire of Sean Payton? Like, where in, as a quarterback, where in the world, and part of it, maybe you're just an old dog. Maybe you're just an old dog who just can't be taught new tricks. I don't know. You go from, and it's amazing all these places that Russell Wilson has now gone to. Like, how many places does a guy get to go to? Seattle, Denver,
Pittsburgh,
Steelers, and New York. It's like, it's a lot. So I don't, and then he goes to Denver, and he needs his own office. I just think that's the funniest thing. Okay, here's so people can understand this. Pretty much every facility that they have today in the NFL, there is so much space for you to be alone as a player, where you can focus on preparing for a game. I mean, you don't need an office, like an office. And it was almost, he needed an office for his people and to do all the things that he was involved in and all his stuff. And it's like, I mean, I think that right there, asking for, and Sean Payton goes, we don't do that here. We don't have offices. I'm sure that he was rubbing someone wrong somewhere, somehow along the way. And that kind of begs the question, because Sean Payton made he took a shot at Russell Wilson. There's no question about it. Like, no question at all. And if a coach kind of does that publicly, now Sean Payton is a breath of fresh air to me, quite frankly. He doesn't care. Like, he's at this point, he's the Mike Leach of the NFL. Maybe a little bit more tempered down as far as like his wackiness. Mike Leach was wacky. Like, Mike Leach was just, but he was entertaining, and he was engaging, and he was brilliant, and he was a great football coach, but he spoke his mind, and he wasn't beholden to, I got to be careful what I say here because I'm worried what people might think about me. Sean Payton doesn't care about that. He's like, I'm here to win football games. I'm not here to run for governor. And so I like that. And so he's like, he took a shot at Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson really pissed him off. He really, really made him mad. And I'm sure it was more than, and we kind of heard the reports and just kind of the quirkiness and all these things. But if you can't work out for Sean Payton, who the heck are you going to work out for? Who the heck are you going to play for? I don't know. I would feel like, I remember when Russell Wilson went to Denver, I'm like, man, that is exciting. That is like, hooray for the Mile High City. They might be 2 miles high by the time Russell Wilson gets done with them here. And he was just horrendous. And the next thing that should tell you that he really, really infuriated the coach was how much money that they had to eat because of Russell Wilson. It was ridiculous. And the only option that they had was to please find a really good young quarterback in the draft. And Bo Nix did a very fine job his rookie year. Seems like he's kind of fighting his way through things this second year, which is kind of expected. But he's being very productive. He's winning football games. They're right at the top of their division. They're in a very good spot. And and Sean Payton just says, "Look, I'm not waiting for you. Get up to speed with me and where I am, or get off the bus." I respect that. I don't know that I completely agree with it, but I respect it. And because there's certain coaches that are just like, I will adapt. I will figure out how to work with you and make you reach your full potential. Or I will, be a guy that just is, here's my system. You better get on board with it. And they both work, just so you know. The 49ers, a West Coast system, that's a system. You got to get them into it. But other coaches, a lot of them have had a lot of success, kind of modifying things and kind of tweaking them to where you are. So, but it makes me ask another question. Now, you're listening to the Down and Dirty here with Scott Mitchell on ESPN 792 FM, doing a lot of NFL news of notes and kind of starting off the show with that. But we're talking about quarterbacks, and here's another question that I have, and I wonder if Sean Payton knows the answer to this, and he just said, "Yeah, not on my watch." And that is, are there quarterbacks out there who are coach killers? And it's been a term used by a lot of coaches. And so a coach gets into a situation and they have a quarterback and they don't really like him. They have to live with him because the team has made a decision and invested in a guy. And so you have to maybe make it work, maybe figure it out. Now, Martin, you may know of this situation. You've heard of a guy named Mark Trestman. We've had Mark on the show.
Yep.
Mark was the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Mark was a longtime NFL assistant coach on some very successful teams. Did not have a lot of success in Chicago. A lot of people, off with his head, and I really thought Mark was going to do a great job there. I think he won 3 Grey Cups in Canada. Was just a remarkable coach up there, and yet he had struggles. And in conversations off the air, I talked to Mark, and he said Jay Cutler was a quarterback. He was a coach killer, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so we all know Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler, by the way, was with the Denver Broncos originally, and then he was traded to the Bears. And so is it a thing? Is a quarterback a coach killer? Are quarterbacks coach killers? Or are coaches are they just misunderstood? Are they, what's going on? Because there's quarterbacks in the league like right now, like let's take the Miami Dolphins. And they have their Tua, right? So now Tua's publicly saying things, and that's a sign of massive frustration, or I don't know what it is. And then players call out Tua, and then he apologizes and all this stuff. It's just weird. And the Miami Dolphins, might be in a situation, and maybe Mike McDaniel, I don't know, because everyone was in love with Mike McDaniel. I mean, he was a guy, and everyone was in love with how he worked, how he did everything. They have lost Tyreek Hill this year. They have lost some of their weapons. But you get a guy like Tua, can't stay healthy. He's a guy that kind of hits a certain level, and then and he just doesn't quite get you there. He's a former first round draft choice. You have to play him. You have to pay him. He's been paid. He's been all of these things, and they're just horrible. And so, is it really the quarterback? I mean, you have Justin Fields in New York. Has not looked good at all. And I've said, he's a guy that's just on audition. And in the normal world, you go, yeah, but you're paying him $30 million. $30 million for a quarterback is nothing. I mean, it's over $50 million a year for a quarterback if you really want a really good one, or hope for a good one. And I think the quarterback killer thing, I think it's I don't think it's a thing. And here's why I don't. Like, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I could have told you Justin Field wasn't going to work in New York. I mean, that wasn't hard to figure out. Like, do you watch the games? Do you watch how he plays? He's not a guy who really, oh man, that guy's just, yeah. So it wasn't, that's an easy one for me to figure out. And most times the guys don't fool me, like when I watch him. Jalen Hurts fooled me. And he didn't really fool me because I wasn't ever like, oh yeah, this is the guy. He wasn't even drafted to be the guy. He was drafted to be Taysom Hill, to be a kind of a hybrid guy. And he's kind of that now. I mean, but he got really good at throwing the football, and Taysom Hill didn't. That's really the difference. But I think it's more about finding the right situation for the right player. And there are guys that can just play, and there are guys that just can't. And I don't know why in the world. Like, I'm not totally convinced of Cam Ward, just so you know. I don't know that I was convinced of him as the first pick in the draft. I know people saw a lot of things, but I don't know. There's just it's the same thing with Anthony Richardson. It's like, I just be nervous doing it, and people fall in love with certain things, and they try to force and make people. Zach Wilson, the number 2 pick in the draft, never saw that. No way. No freaking way. So I think it's about more. The coach killer is you kill yourself by bringing in a guy who's like destined to fail. And then on top of it, you need a guy that fits in your culture, fits in your city, fits in your system. And then you got to keep the system around. Baker Mayfield might have been it could have been the best player in Cleveland. And they figured out how, I mean, like Cleveland is a quarterback killer. The Jets are quarterback killers. There's a lot of, it kind of goes both ways. Anyways, okay, I want to move on to some really interesting stuff. So they've looked at reviews, right? And they tweaked the way that coaches could review plays in the NFL, and they've had a massively increased structure or success rate with challenges. And they've only done one thing different, and the difference was the coaches in the booth that get a chance to look at the play get it exactly at the same time and the same view that the review official gets. In the past, it's been whatever the TV broadcast is, that whatever film that is, that's what you get. And if you're on a 1:00 game, you don't have the same video and film and camera angles that you do on a primetime. I mean, they've they videotape, or they have a camera, on the assistant to the head coach, the guy who's holding his clipboard. They have so many camera angles. I mean, they see everything. 1 p.m. broadcast, you don't see anything. Yeah, and just so you know, if you're always a 1 p.m. broadcast team, you stink. But they've changed so the video is now equal, and it's dramatically improved what's going on with the reviews, which, like, I read this and I thought of this and I'm like, that's awesome, because I love instant replay. I've always been a big fan of it. I just don't see how sometimes with things happening so quickly, you can make a judgment call. And I'd rather people get it right. I'd rather not be mad at the officials. Like, oh, you missed that call. I'd rather be, no, let's go to an arbitrator. Let's go to the eye in the sky that never lies. Let's talk to him. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with getting it right and taking a little bit of time. I don't have a problem with that. And I'm so glad, because technology, come on, it's so good these days. I mean, you could put a camera on every player, and probably the information you could get would just be phenomenal, and the footage would be beyond phenomenal. So I'm really glad that they've done that. I'm really glad that that's actually changed, because that's like, you just kind of like, yeah, it just seems like a no-brainer. Like, why does it take so long sometimes to do things right? Now, the other thing, so the NFL league meetings are going on. And the other thing that's quite interesting right now is this discussion about onside kicks. And they're abysmal. Like, they're non-existent. And I hate that they've taken out the element of surprise with the onside kick. Like, okay, fine. They get more, kick returns. Great. But the whole element of onside kick, the strategy, and it's worked. Sean Payton will attest to this. It works. And there are times then that you could call it. And it's about, defending everything and defending the whole field and defending, blah, blah, blah. And so now they've just totally eliminated it. And it kind of stinks, because there's some magic and there's some intrigue, and it's part of what makes football great is there's always a chance, right? You can come back. You've been down the whole game, and you fight your way back, and then you get to the onside kick and you go, good try, the game's over. And before you even kick it, it's like the last week Utah plays BYU, and it's like, well, there might be a little bit of a chance. Now they do this little sidewinder kick, and it works really good on artificial turf, not so much on natural grass. So your percentage is, and they were half a foot from getting that onside kick against BYU. I mean, it was at 9 yards, and the guy's leg just kind of, he's trying to get out of the way, and he's like, I can't quite get out of the way. So the NFL, they've said, here's our solution. We're going to, because they had lined up the players right on the 35-yard line, and there's no momentum for them. Like, it's a 4% chance success rate onside kicks in the NFL. And so they think that if they move the players back to like the 37 or the 38-yard line, where they get a 3-yard run at it, that it's going to improve, because they want it to be around 12%. And they've toyed with the idea of a 4th and long play. So you go 4th, like they go 4th and 20 has about a 12% success rate in the NFL. So you just do a 4th and 20 from your 25-yard line. And everyone goes, that's so hokey. That's like just stupid. So why don't you just kick, and it's like, what's hokey is a Hail Mary, but it's a part of the game, and it's been a part of the game. So why don't you just do a Hail Mary kick or a Hail Mary punt at the end of the game? So you're still kicking it. It's still a kicking play. And you at least have a better chance or better odds of getting the ball back than if you didn't do it. Now people will say, yeah, but you get the ball back plus you get all the yardage. Well, let's say why don't you kick off from the goal line then? Or why don't you punt from like, you have to have your feet on the end line, the end of the end zone, and you have to punt the ball, and and maybe you have to punt it into a zone, just like they have them kick it into a zone now. I mean, these punters, kickers, they can do all kinds of stuff. And if you are unsuccessful, then the other team gets the ball at the 25-yard line, or the 35-yard line where the original kick was from. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do this, and so you just have a jump ball, and maybe you only have so many players that are allowed to get, maybe each team has four players that are allowed to actually go jump, do a Hail Mary, which is about what it is in a football game anyways. There's 3 or 4 wide receivers, the same with the DBs. And you just do that to end the game. I'm sad, but I really think they should bring back the onside kick. I don't know how they do it with how they got this all messed up, but anyway. All right, we're going to take a break. Martin's got some interesting questions for me. Most of them are about the NBA. And we'll talk about that and so much more when the Down and Dirty returns here on ESPN 792.1 FM.
Say it one more time. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do. I'm trying to find it. I appreciate that. That's a good way to think about it. What do you mean? Correct. Oh, yeah, that'd be like a 110. Yeah, I say like a 110 to 90 win, or like a 110 to like 105 win. One goal game. It was a high scoring goal game, so if it was 2-1, you'd be kind of thinking like in the 80s. If you're at like 3-2, that's probably 90s. If you're anything above 3, like 4 or 5, you're like going to like 110, 120. Like last night with the OKC, that was a fun game. Also, I found the song. Do you like Down with the Sickness as well? No, okay. Just asking. But I found the sound of silence. I'll bring it back. Yes. All right, got to put it back in here.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to the show. We're not going to be silent here. Oh, no. We are going to scream from the tops of the rooftops, the tops of the Wasatch Mountains, down into the depths of the Bonneville Salt Flats. And we're going to echo sports around the state of Utah and around the world, by the way. I personally know people that listen to this show in other countries. So, and that's technology, and you can get it too. So go download this. You can download the podcast of the Down and Dirty with Scott Mitchell, just wherever you get your podcast, or you can go on the ESPN 700 Sports app and listen to us and do all that stuff. ESPN700sports.com. So love when you tune in and love having you a part of the day. Okay, NBA season started. Martin has some questions for me, but I think this would be kind of fun. I think we need to create sibling rivalry. And we have two siblings here. We have our Utah Mammoth and we have our Utah Jazz. And hey, they're owned by the same people. They're going to have their housing accommodations right next to each other in the same facility. They've created a campus, a sports complex campus is being built in the middle of the Salt Lake Valley. And it's to create synergy. Well, there's nothing better than synergy in life than sibling rivalry. So, and rivals, and I believe this because, we have our Utah BYU rivalry. And rivals kind of hopefully can bring out the best in you. Like you don't want to be shown up by your sibling. You don't want them to get the better of you. And so maybe we need to generate some rivalry here. Now, the Mammoth have already won their fourth home game of the season. And of course they've done it rather quickly. I mean, so they're 5-2 on the season. They beat the West leading Colorado Avalanche, who I think might become their rival, just by way of, I think that's kind of a thing. It is and it isn't. Here's the problem with Colorado: they smoke way too much marijuana. That's really the problem. And so what it does to Colorado is they just get really mellow. They're just like, yeah, man, you're like our rival, and we think that's so awesome. And, come over and we'll just have a match or a game or something, and we'll just hate on each. Well, I don't want to hate on you. I just want to be your rival, man, and we can just love on each other. So it's hard to have a rival that's high. But we'll go with it. Now, I don't think the Colorado Avalanche are high, but they certainly are playing very well, and they're long storied franchise in Denver, which is awesome. And I think the Nuggets could, potentially be that for the Jazz. But for right now, let's have a sibling rivalry between the Jazz and the Mammoth. And I think we should see. So the Mammoth have won 4 home games. Can the Utah Jazz live up to that? What can, in the month of November, so the first month of the season, can the Utah Jazz win 4 home games? So I'd be curious to see. Maybe can we do a poll? Is a poll possible, Martin?
Yeah, a poll's possible.
Let's do a poll. Can the Jazz match the Mammoth and win at least 4 home games in their first month of the season? So I believe we have the list of those games. It's the Clippers, the Suns, the Timberwolves, the Pacers, the Hawks, the Bulls, and the Lakers. So are the Clippers a possibility? I mean, they kind of are, right? Because they're in flux. They're kind of trying to figure out Kawhi Leonard and what that all means. And it feels like they're a possible team. The Suns definitely, right? Because they've kind of dismantled things. I mean, they still have their guy down there. what's his name? I can't remember his name. They got rid of Kevin Durant, and but that's a possibility. Timberwolves, I'm going to say no. Pacers.
You were talking about Booker, right?
Yeah,
From
Devin
the Suns.
Booker. Yeah, I mean, still have Booker, but the problem is they still have Booker, right? Like, what do the Jazz have? What do the Jazz have to combat Devin Booker? Like, what player do they have on their roster right now? You go, yeah, that guy can hang with Devin Booker. They don't. Laurie. So the Timberwolves can and the Pacers. Pacers are pretty good, right? I mean, didn't the Pacers go to the championship last year? I'm asking you, Martin.
Yes, they did. Sorry, I'm trying to put your poll together here. Yeah, the Pacers went to the finals.
Are you multitasking?
I'm trying to multitask here, buddy.
Right.
Yes, they did.
Well, I'll just talk to myself then.
Oh, I'm trying to talk. I can do it.
No. Get the poll up. We're
okay. Give me a minute.
So we got the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, there's a possibility. So maybe 1, 2, 3. The Bulls, maybe 4. The Lakers. I mean, I'm asking a lot here. Now, if you don't have LeBron playing, and Luka by then is like, whew, I got to pace myself here because I've got this rocking hot body now as a basketball player, and maybe so if Luka's out and and LeBron's out, because it seems like it's in that contract of players from the Lakers that anytime they play in Utah, it seems this way with Golden State, by the way. So maybe it's every California team, or at least the good ones. They all go, yeah, when we come to Utah, we don't play. It's not up to our standards. I swear it feels that way. I may be wrong. Now going to LA is a different story. They'll play the Jazz in LA all day long. Anyways, can the Utah Jazz? So we're going to have a poll question, I believe. So you just text. What do you do for the poll? Text into the poll?
No, so they can go to Twitter on ESPN 700. I'm putting the poll out right now. Look for the tweet and answer if you actually think the Utah Jazz can win 4 games, 4 home games to start 4 home games to start the first month of the season. So it's either yes, they can, or no way, Jose.
Okay. So it has to be no way, Jose. It can't be just no. It's no way, Jose. So it's, and maybe it's yes, sir. Yes, sir. No way, Jose. Yeah, that has to be your answer. So yeah, let's get a little civil rivalry. Why can I not say that? Sibling rivalry going on between the Utah Jazz and Utah Mammoth. Can the Jazz keep up with the Mammoth this year? I mean, you need something to pace yourself. All right, last night, the NBA kind of got off to a start, right? And, of course, Wild was a double overtime game between the OKC Thunder and the Houston Rockets with their new shiny toy, Kevin Durant. So Chet Holmgren fouls out, Kevin Durant foul out. And it's fouling out in an NBA game, I think, is the most annoying thing in the world to me. And it's so annoying because you pay all this money to watch these players, and it's the only sport that they, you can get ejected from a football game for targeting and all that stuff. And I just feel for Lander Barton. I just think he got the raw end of a deal that he was in. I really do. It was a tough situation. It looked like the quarterback was running in, and then just the last second, he just underhands it. And it's like, oh man, that's kind of lame. At any rate, kind of a tough deal, but why would you want to eliminate your stars? Why would you want to eliminate anyone from a game? And fouls can be so, you can get kind of a silly foul, something that maybe, I don't know, is like, not really that egregious. And you get it early, and you get a couple of fouls early, and then you have to kind of not play, or, so you have to sit out in the game and all this stuff. And I don't think it should give you. I don't think you should be ejected. But I also don't think you should not be penalized for it. So let's say you're a player and you get beyond, you get beyond the number of fouls to get out of a game. You don't foul out, but the team now gets to shoot maybe an extra free throw, or if you foul someone, maybe they get an extra possession, something. But don't foul them out of the game. I just think that's really stupid. Now, technical fouls and stuff like that, where you're an idiot, yeah, you should be ejected for that, because that's stuff you can control. I mean, seriously, you can get some fouls that are somewhat subjective, and they have opportunities to review fouls, not very many, and they get overturned. So yeah, there's a possibility that you didn't even foul someone and you got called for a foul. So I don't like the rule, and I think there's a way to modify it, change. I've never liked this rule in basketball. I think it's just stupid. But there are situations where you have a teammate that does really dumb things, like get technical fouls and gets ejected from a game, or they purposely target someone, or they fight, or they do just a really stupid thing, or they get like, the thing that drives me crazy are personal fouls where a guy just loses his mind. It's one thing to face mask. It's one thing, to just be, hands to the face sometimes it's a tough thing for these guys, because they're just in a position where their hand can go nowhere else. And if they're going to maintain any kind of leverage or anything, they have to kind of keep pushing. And so the hands to the face is a tough one sometimes. But it's, to me, when a guy purposely goes after someone, fights, has a stupid play, and usually in a very critical point of a game, I think it's the most selfish thing a player can do for his team. And I think that there's some kind of penalty that should happen for that player, because you have all these people that are working so hard to stop an offense, and then you have some knucklehead that just does something so stupid. And all it is, it's just a matter of like thinking for a minute. And these players think on the field. Like, you're not some mindless idiot out there just, I'm out of control, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's just, it's BS. And I've always felt that this is the absolute most selfish act you can have as a teammate, is to purposely hurt your team just because you want to be, I don't know, some idiot, some blowhard, someone who's just like, oh, they're not going to get me. It's like, it's a game. This is so quit it. Knock it off. All right, we're going to take a break. Let's see, Jazz, can you keep up with your mammoth? We'll see if that happens. When we return, we're going to play a trivia sports game. Should be a lot of fun. I'm going to test Martin's not. I got some tough questions for you, Martin, so I hope you're ready for this. You can play along at home as well. This is the Down and Dirty. Scott Mitchell, ESPN 700, 921 FM.
Okay. Also, you got to come back and
Wave vision.
yeah, you got to come back with wave vision. You're good. No harm, no foul.
No, it's my bad.
God dang it, Scott. I keep telling you, man, it's a 5-step drop. Why do you keep trying to do a 3.5 step and try to rainbow the pass?
I don't know how you do it. Just so you know, when you say that, it's very confusing. Now, if you're supposed to do a 5-step drop, you do a 3-step drop, or you do a 5-step drop, or a 3-step drop, or then there's a 7-step drop.
I think a 3.5 step stop is someone doing 3 steps and then doing that half little bunny step, like step to try to like either go.
The bunny step.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I mean by that.
I understand. So it's like 3 and let it rip.
Yeah.
You do a 3 and you're resetting.
Yeah. All right. Unfortunately, I got to put it back in here, but yes, I will keep looking out for responses, and yeah, wave vision. All right. Thanks, boss.
Oh, that's not true, people. That is not true. The love we share is going somewhere. Our love of sports, our love of being together for an hour every day is growing and budding, and we're just connecting. Anyways, this is the Down and Dirty with Scott Mitchell here on ESPN 700 92.1 FM. I'm Scott Mitchell. I'm the host. I'm the one responsible for all this madness, and glad that you come be a part of it. Anyways, thanks. Really, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. They've lost an art in the NFL, and it's called the drop back pass. Like everyone's in the shotgun these days. You know how hard it is? Like the steps in the shotgun are weird. Like, for example, when you're underneath the center and you throw a quick pass, so a slant, a hitch, quick out, it's 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom, get it out, right? And then you have intermediate passes, so they're 5-step drops. So you think of Troy Aikman, he's famous for his skinny post. It's a quick 5 steps, boom, and throw it out, right? And then you have a reset when you're going to throw a curl. So it's a big 5 steps, reset, or Martin calls it a bunny step, which I think is hilarious. But I like the bunny step. It's a good one. A little hop, right? A little bunny hop. And they don't do that anymore. They're like the drop back pass is a dinosaur, and it's sad. And watching Joe Montana and his footwork and his artistry, it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing. And it's not how they do things in the NFL anymore. Get in the shotgun, throw it from the shotgun. Anyways, I'll tell you who I'm in love with. Weight Vision, love them. They have changed my life. I can see, and it's amazing. I like it was crazy what happened to me. All of a sudden, I just looked at my phone, and I normally had to have like reading glasses. I just looked at it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can see all of the fine print, and I can see far and near. I have no issues, and they'll do that for you. If you have any vision issues, go check them out. Don't wait around any longer. I'm telling you, you go, and you'll say, I should have done this sooner. Weight Vision, right off of the freeway in Thanksgiving Point, UCCU building. Can't miss it. Go check them out online. Weightvision.com, WAITE vision.com. All right, let's play our trivia game. We're going to play this until they tell us we can't be on the air any longer. All right, I'm going to ask you some questions, Martin.
All right.
And these are not easy.
Okay.
And they're all sports.
All right.
So it's I will start out with a sport that's we'll see. Okay, a sporting event is held every year on Memorial Day. What is it?
Memorial Day, a sporting event. Let's see, kind of around the Indianapolis 500.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
you got
that's
it right.
the Indianapolis
Very
500.
nice. See, that was kind of hard, wasn't it?
I had to think about it for a minute.
Right.
Baseball in their traditional like days of that stuff.
Yeah, could have been the Jack Nicklaus Memorial Tournament, but yeah, Indianapolis 500. How many sports were included in the 2008 Summer Olympics?
Ooh, okay. I don't know this off the top of my head, but I'm going to throw a shot in the dark. I'm going to say 25 sports.
Ooh, you're pretty close. 28.
Oh, that's off by 3.
Yeah, not bad. Pretty good. Hey, I hope you guys are playing at home. So let us know how you do. What number sits to the right of the number 20 on a standard dartboard?
Oh, I wouldn't know this. I don't play darts at all, so I'm gonna be totally honest here. I'm gonna say 6.
The number 1.
Oh, okay. See.
I say these questions like I know the answers because I'm really smart. I don't know these answers. I just have the answers in front of me. So
I've never played darts, so I would have known that not at all.
Darts is a fun game, actually, and there's a way to throw a dart. It's kind of you just kind of your elbow, just keep your elbow at the right height, and then you just let the dart go. Anyway, like I'm a dart expert. In what year were women allowed to compete in the modern Olympic Games?
I'm gonna say somewhere in the mid 60s. I'm gonna throw.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw 62, 63.
You're way off. Good guess, though. I appreciate the effort. 1900.
Okay, well, yeah, I was way off.
Yeah, and just by way, and there were 22 women out of the almost 1,000 athletes, and they competed in 5 sports: tennis, sailing, croquet, or croquette, equestrian, and golf. They had golf in 1900 in the Olympics for women.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty well. Okay, you're a Chicago fan.
Yes.
Basketball player Scottie Pippen has a worn tattoo on his forearm. What does it say?
Oh, I wouldn't know this at all. A worn tattoo. I don't like Michael Jordan. He probably would have done something like that.
It's Pip, P-I-P.
Pip. Okay.
But now he's probably changed it to I hate Jordan.
Probably.
Jordan sucks. I hate him. All right. What sport is Bella Carolla known for coaching?
Who?
Bella Carolla.
Tennis.
He's a Russian. I'm going to help you.
Russian wrestling? I mean, they're not bad at wrestling.
Women's gymnastics. That's the one. All right, here's a good one for you. What is the only sport to be played on the moon?
Only sport to be played on the moon. Isn't that golf?
That's golf. Good one.
Yeah, isn't that golf?
All right. And here's our last question.
Okay.
How old was Tiger Woods when he won the Masters?
Which one, though? The first one?
No, his first Masters, yeah.
First Masters?
Yeah.
19? Wasn't he 19? Wasn't he like 19 or 20?
Keep going. He was 21.
21.
All right, I got to do one more quick one here because this is awesome. This is a great question. In which winter sport are the terms stale fish and mule kick used?
Stale fish and mule
Which
kick?
winter sport? It's a winter sport.
Stale
fish and a mule kick.
Curling.
Snowboarding.
Oh.
I know. Bummer.
Oh man, I gotta dice up on my study up on my stuff, man.
Yeah.
I was struggling.
These are good questions, aren't they?
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
All right, we'll do more of this in the future. This is fun. All right, you've been listening to the Down and Dirty with Scott Mitchell here on ESPN 700, 92.1 FM. The Sean O'Connell Show is next. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Scott Mitchell, and until then, we'll see you then.